Cool. So, basically, from where we left off, we saw the Kendell blowed up on a radar screen. So you see two more like blips from the same radar screen we cut back to after the break. You see two more blips leaving the Kendell. The very basic like computer system on the ships identify them as like some sort of dropship or transport skiff or small personnel transport, basically. Classified as like one size larger, maybe two, than the vehicles you're currently in. And they're burning on an intercept course for you guys.
The fuck is that?
Rescue Gwen.
What do you mean? The fuck is that?
Wait, did it come from the Kendall or the other ship?
From the holiday. The
They told us to
destroyer.
prepare to be boarded, and now they're coming.
I thought you said it came from the Kendall.
Oh, if I said the Kendall, I apologize.
Yeah. I fucking hate the EF.
I look at Morgan and give him like a pointed look.
I also don't think the EF likes genetic mutations, Morgan.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
I just look at you very intently, Morgan. Intently and intensely.
How do you guys think they feel about political activist?
When are you banned from
Never been. Didn't plan on it. Might be fucked now.
Well, I know Morgan's going to be arrested because they don't like shark people. I mean, genetic mutations.
But Morgan's the nicest one out of all of us. Except for you, Leona. You that's you.
Yeah,
Second Morgan.
Keep telling yourself.
She smiles.
Keep telling
Did
yourself
you
they don't like genetic mutations.
Did you send the coded message?
Yes, I sent
When?
a fucking message to your fucking mother.
Then I'm fine.
What even was that message?
I don't know.
Then why were you sending it? Who did I send it to? And what was it?
That's for me to know and for you to find out.
You suck at creating.
Okay. So the Christy like turns away from where she's like looking at the like displays in front of her. And she like looks, she turns like the piloting's that way, she turns and like looks back towards where all you guys are, and she says, okay, boys and girls, EDF Marines are on their way. We're gonna play nice, gonna listen to their instructions, I'm gonna get on board their nice comfortable ship.
Well, we have no weapons. Can't attack them.
But, I mean, you do have weapons. The security personnel all armed.
You know what I mean? We don't have like a weapons. It's a battleship.
We don't have weapons to tangle with the main ship.
Yeah.
We have Morgan. I'd consider him a weapon.
I'd say,
Yes.
Captain, how you feeling?
Sorry, I can't get past the joke that was just made in chat.
We're gonna play nice and taken care of.
Yeah, so the captain says, we listen to their instructions. And he like glances over at the security force there in the shuttle. Relinquish all weapons as they instruct. I don't want a firefight in here. More people will die if that happens. And
Does that mean we have to relinquish Morgan?
I look pointedly at fucking Slane, just like say the word.
Slane like
I'm just kidding.
folds his arms, says, Captain, I'm not convinced. Don't want to hand over my weapons. Captain says, Slain, though I respect your security skills, you cannot tangle with 2 full squads of EDF Marines. You lose that fight, and everybody on here dies.
Well, with Morgan as his backup, I think there might be a chance.
Very
Captain,
small
like-
chance.
Shakes his head. You cannot beat 2 squads of EDF Marines.
I'm in agreement with the captain here. I'd rather not die. We've already just survived 1 explosion.
Yep.
It is the EDF though,
They are total pricks.
and we're on a black site operation.
Coming to pick up their mark, hey?
I wouldn't
Listen,
exactly call us safe right now.
Just
But-
do what they say and get it done with. I want to get to somewhere safe.
Christy says, the way I see it, we have 2 choices. We remain on these boats, and we run out of food, and air, and water. Obviously, air being the more important of the 3. And we suffocate. Or we go with the Marines and suffer whatever indignities they provide. And live. Probably.
I'd
we
say
don't have to
there's a
like it.
good 40% chance we don't live.
40's
We're
better than
still-
0.
Because we're still protected under corporation law. It can't actually hurt us.
We haven't actually entered their space yet either. They can't. They cannot blow us up.
It's
They
the
cannot kill us.
EDF. They don't give a shit if we're in their space or not. They take us and lock us in one of their black sites. No one ever knows.
We're at one of their black sites. If they wanted to, they could
Exactly.
easily do it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't worry too much. But and he looks at Slane like someone was very keen on getting evacuated and shipped here.
Christy says,
It's like I just ratcheted up his paranoia a bit. Like, yes.
he's like nodding. By the way, he didn't notice the conversation that you did, so he was busy
Yeah.
watching other people on the crew. So, he says,
I give him like the
yeah,
head
yeah.
question towards Christy, like,
okay. So he says, he like, okay, yeah, he like nods, and he rests his hand on the side arm that's at his hip. Says, so XO, why are you so keen to get evacuated? She like looks up at him. Probably because I didn't want to get blown up on a hunk of junk freighter that was about to cross the line whether we could fix it or fucking not. He nods.
awfully convenient that the EF is just around the corner to pick up everyone, right?
Morgan, shut the fuck up.
She like pushes herself so she's floating slightly above the heads of the rest of the crowd. Yeah, you're not currently under thrust because they told you to kill your engine. So, she like pushes herself up slightly above the heads of everyone else in the shuttle, to a point where she's like at your eye level. Morgan says, "If you want to imply something, imply it right now."
What does she seem to want? Like, where will this conversation lead? Is she aiming to shoot me down here?
Do you want to roll for it?
Roll for it.
Or do I want to provoke? Do I want to be like provoking her to reveal who her friends are?
If you're trying to discern her intent, roll for it. Otherwise, make a decision.
I'll discern her intents.
Cool. Give me a roll.
That's
Once again, you sell me on a skill, and I'll
notice.
tell you if I buy into your bullshit.
Fuck it. I want to provoke her into revealing like who she called.
Okay.
She
I
called
don't
Lucas.
care what she intends.
All right.
But I basically I'm implying that she's there, so I want to use talk and charisma to get her to fess up as to who she called for help.
Sure. Give me a roll.
Okay. And I'm not being assisted here.
Nice.
10.
Okay. Cool. So what do you say? And I'll we'll put all the right flair around it for a 10.
Right.
Basically, what is your intended
So-
message, and then they can come
So
across.
I say,
10 across.
you made an awful lot of calls for someone down on their luck.
She says,
Who've you got picking you up?
I let the holiday know we were coming. Do you have a problem with that?
I'm not talking about the holiday.
Her eyes narrow. Been listening to phone calls, have you, Mr. Morgan?
No.
That's mine.
No, I just good at piecing things together. So you want to tell us who's your rescuer?
She looks around. She says, I have no intention of sitting in an EDF black site for the rest of my days. Is that enough for you, Mr. Morgan?
He shrugs, looks at Sloane like, eh? See, I told you.
Liam, I have a question.
Yo.
Is the EXO the one that was with Buddy who died? Like, that had the argument with him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll bring up the point then, in character, that, everyone around here who's real nervous about the EDF has a reason. But if you got a way to get around the EDF, that means there's something you don't want them prying into, yeah? What's it for you?
She laughs. You do realize what the Kendell was, yeah? Bottom of the line job. Piece of shit. People end up here due to incompetence or someone who doesn't have the right recommendations to get a higher tiered job. She gestures to the crew. None of you are fucking incompetent. So you are stories. You all have some reason why you couldn't get a higher tiered job. And fucked if I believe it's just convenience or good Samaritan.
Yeah, but XO, I think it's not going to look well on any of us. Well, except for me. I sing. I didn't fucking have to fly the ship or anything. Not going to look good on the XO when her last ship fucking exploded, huh? And her last boyfriend was dead on it for last week.
She laughs. You think I could get a better job than this shithole? Think that matters after this?
No, but I do think write 1 or 2 words to the EDF when they come aboard. You ain't getting fucking saved.
She
Look,
laughs.
everyone, we're stuck in the same boat together. For now, we'll stop trying to kill each other, and let's wait for the EDF. I'd preferably not shoot a gun in a single hull ship.
I
Look,
don't need a gun.
Gwen's right. If we start biting at each other's throats, the EDF are just going to get what they want faster. We're the crew of the Kendell. We stick together and we get out of this alive. If we start shit-talking each other, that's when they will get what they want. That's when we all end up in a fucking black site. And I know I don't want that. I know none of you do. So let's just, not stab each other in the backs.
A voice comes from the cockpit. Hey, boys and girls, they're coming. You have all of 2 minutes. I'll be here soon.
Let's ditch these weapons then.
Good. I assume all security starts putting their shit
Okay.
down.
Yeah. So what do you guys do? What's your
Um,
what's your preparation for these guys arriving?
I go stand next to Vinny, or sit next to, or whatever, be next to Vinny and get my bag ready.
Okay.
I detach my implants and hide them on my person.
I make sure I have my shirt on.
Do you have your pants?
Oh, my pants don't come off, baby.
It must be very hard for you then.
That's why zipper's there.
I meant the other, I also mentioned, but yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I hide my implants so the EDF won't find them.
Okay.
And we cover Morgan in a sheet.
No, Morgan is next to Sloan. Like,
Yeah, so
well, that happened.
on my way to Vinny, I brush past Morgan and I like whisper in his vicinity because he's like several feet taller than me.
Yep.
Plausible deniability, Morgan. Deny everything. You're not a shark man. You're a normal person who suffered a terrible fate at birth.
I know.
I nod.
Don't worry about it.
In the DNA, if they do the tests, you heard nothing about that. Your mother maybe had sex with a shark, or
I'm more worried about Doctor. Like he puts like his hands on you, like Dr. Matua. If anything, they'll come for your discs. You're the one in trouble.
Swallow them.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about, Morgan. Gives them a wink.
You
Right.
say as you're holding a duffel bag full of incriminating evidence.
Now, torture is just a math problem. Think of math.
Okay. So as he says that, there's a resounding like clang through the hull. There's a docking tube is like attached to your airlock. There's an airlock, like a request for an airlock open. And looking through the two bits of glass that you're looking through, you see a group of 5 fully armored EDF Marines, fully armored, fully kitted, in a full vacuum sealed atmospheric armor.
Aline, why don't you invite our guests in?
Kendell, and there's a slight hiss as the air pressures equalize. But you can see from the other side of the airlock panel that like there is an atmosphere on their side of the docking tube. So it opens and they step through. One of them like steps into the room and like lowers the rifle he's holding, just let it like hang around his neck, and the other 4 have the rifles up and pointed at the room. He says, all right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sergeant Vasquez. I'm going to ask you to come with me. Any weapons or anything you can do to hurt any of my Marines, I'm going to ask that stays here. We will search you when you get back onto our ship, and we will take anything and put it away in private storage until the time you are ready to retrieve it. Is that understood?
Understood.
I'm guessing
All right,
I can't take my guitar.
He says, we will take any personal and private possessions and have them secured away until the time it is appropriate for you to retrieve them. I'll have you one at a time now, please. And he gestures back for his men to, like, 2 of them stay by the doorway and 2 of them file back through the airlock. He steps to the side and like gestures for people to go one at a time.
Can I make a check to see if I can hide my psychic gear?
Sure. Mira.
Yeah, on that line, all the incriminating evidence that I have, God, there's a lot of it. It's hidden in side places, like very deliberately where people wouldn't look. The bag the bag is very messily packed, including the several med kits she has in there that like messily put together. like it's been used. Yes, some discs are hidden in some medkits, and it's all hidden around inside
Sure.
the bag.
There'll be a roll for how well they search your gear, so
Okay.
it'll.
Can I
your
use
roll versus
Dex,
that roll,
assuming that
depending
I've
on
done
if they
this
see.
kind of stuff before, so I already have like pockets and stuff on my suit?
They're probably going to search pockets.
Yeah, like I think
Pocket shit in my suit.
anything like that, I think they'd probably find. I think this is a sneak. I don't.
You teleported into your stomach.
Yes, because that would work.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just
But I
kidding.
don't have sneak.
You can still roll it.
I
Yeah,
know, but it's a
so-
negative one. Fine, I'll use sneak.
Yeah, I think the best option is to hide it on, like, not on your person, but in your purse or something.
Dex or
And then
wisdom?
just call it
Trying
private
to hide
position.
something like this.
Sorry.
Dex or wisdom for trying to hide something like this.
I'll say like I think Dex is if you're trying to do it in the spur of the moment. Wisdom is if you've like premeditated and done this beforehand.
So wisdom then. No bonus. I lose.
Oh god.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, look, the marine searching you could roll worse. So
Can he?
He rolled a 2 1s. Oh no, he rolled a 2 and a 1.
I rolled 2 and a 1, but I have negative 1.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
so Matt,
Yeah.
Snake.
your roll. Yep. Once again, sneak, and if it's Dex if you're trying to do it like spur of the moment, or
Can
wisdom
I
if you've done
use
it.
intelligence for like, because it's more like purposely. It's not like it's like trying to figure out like her thinking of what a messy bag would look like, emulating that, and then hiding things where just people wouldn't want to look. Like no one wants to look inside of a dirty medkit.
I still think there's more wisdom than
Yeah?
intelligence,
Are you sure?
because wisdom is more interacting with
Shit.
people and things, well, opposed to like knowing things.
Well, I have a reroll.
Good luck.
7. Yeah, if I reroll, I take the higher of the two, so I'm gonna reroll.
No, I thought you take the second roll no matter what.
Nah, it got
Yeah, you take a
changed.
second roll.
I'm pretty sure it got changed in the system to you take the higher of the two. I'm gonna double check that though.
Yeah, I need to pull up the robot. It's kind of bad.
I have. If you're clever, you do your class ability on your character sheet and you write down the wording.
Yeah, I didn't, so I'm not clever.
Dropbox.
Once per scene, you can reroll a failed check, taking the new roll if it's better.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought it changed this.
Do it again.
You sure not intelligence?
Yeah,
Yep.
8. I'll take an 8.
I'd take an 8.
Really hope the marine searching you as God rolls. That'd be amazing.
Really hope the one who searches me has shit rolls.
I mean, you also got to take into account everything's encrypted, so they have to get past the encryption then.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
for the
alright.
EDF wouldn't be hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and they have time.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you guys, does anyone do anything during the orderly one by one filing out of the ship? Yeah.
Oh, when I walk by,
I'm more
the
worried
EDF,
about Sloan.
I'm out.
I think so.
XO private talk. XO private talk to the EDF as I walk by. That's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I
We'll
just
see
I
you like
take
you're
my
free.
cues from Sloan, so I try to be like next to him in the queue, like either before or after.
Okay.
It's 2 rolls.
Yeah.
So Sloan
It's 2 rolls.
doesn't do anything.
Yep. So
Um,
if Sloan doesn't do anything, I don't.
All right. So Gwen, so they basically give you when you arrive onto their ship. Before you let in, the Marines give everyone like a basic pat down and ask them if they've got anything. So is anyone else apart from these two? Like Matt's role will be later because that's more about them when they search the gear, which they're not doing yet. They're just taking the gear and putting it in a locker. But the Quack, yours is on your person, so they're gonna check your personal gear. So is anyone else hiding anything?
Just the combat.
No.
Yeah, I'm like hiding my bioscanner.
No reason
as
to article.
I'm like, yeah, I'm hiding the wrist-mounted bioscanner like as best I can.
Okay.
Which,
So you're hiding your wrist.
So okay,
yeah,
so
I think that's Dex.
for for Constantine, I'm basically gonna roll these to the guys searching each of you. For Constantine,
I mean, security is
For-
probably getting a more thorough check, so I
yeah,
couldn't hide a knife. It's
No.
not it's not worth trying to
weapons,
hide it either.
weapons aren't really gonna happen.
Dude,
for
you're
Gwen-
getting the most thorough shirt by just because of the way you look. They're like,
and for
Yeah, you gotta tell us the reaction when they see Morgan.
that's fine. Yeah,
So do you want us to all
see-
roll or?
and that's if you're specifically trying to hide something else. Yeah, roll.
Sneak?
If you're not if you're not specifically trying to hide something, then
I
don't
don't
worry.
get another reroll, do I?
No.
I just-
No, you don't.
I'm just attempting to keep my like bioscanner out of sight. 11.
By
Fuck
putting
yes.
it in your purse.
No, it's like
Yeah, Matt.
like my sleeves are just rolled down and I'm like wearing my gloves. Yeah,
2 sets of gloves.
yeah. I'm just.
Yeah,
wearing my-
somehow they don't find that.
I mean, yeah. It's just like a bracelet. It looks like a bracelet when it's not like on.
So Gwen, the soldier who's like patting you down finds your implants. You rolled better than you. Yeah.
Which was
So he says like he takes it and then like puts it in like a essentially a Ziploc bag and puts it to the side and says, "Sorry, ma'am, you'll have these returned to you at the conclusion of your voyage." And puts it onto the side and ushers you through.
If you break that, it's fucking expensive.
And then Morgan arrives
Yep.
at the check-in
Put
counter.
Morgan in a bag.
After Sloan.
And they check Sloan. They find like 4 or 5 different concealed weapons on
Yeah.
Sloan. They put him to the side. They usher him through with like a note that they'll be watching him particularly close.
And then they see
And then
Morgan.
like he looks up and
And up.
up and up, and he goes. He turns on
You're
like
gonna stuff me in your bag.
you see him like the visor on his like helmet is like transparent. You can see his face. You see his like eyes go wide, and you see him like talking, but there's no sound coming out the other side. And then like the Marine who was still in the ship, the Sergeant Vasquez, like walks up to the ship, to your side. He like stands and looks up at you, says, sighs. Look, by the look of you, you are big enough to probably punch through a suit of this armor. I'll just let you know that if you were to kill me or one of my Marines, that would end very badly for you. There are 36 of us on that destroyer. You can't kill all of us, and before you get one of them, after you get one of us, the rest of us will kill you. We always carry loaded weapons, and you won't have a weapon anywhere near you. Don't try anything, please, for the love of God.
Have no fear. I merely look big. I am a gentleman on the inside.
Pat's head.
Bet you are, big guy. Yeah, he looks across at the Marine who is doing the searches. He says, "Don't worry, I'll take this one." He pats you down, and you haven't hit anything, so there's nothing to find, and he waves you on.
Yeah, it's Sloan you gotta worry about.
Oh,
So yeah, he pats me down, and nothing happens. I just let him do his thing.
Cool. Um, so you basically sat down in another series of like seats, and the Marines kind of file either side of you, and then you feel the familiar feeling of like a 0.3 gravity as the shuttle thrusts towards the EDF holiday.
Yeah, we just took our burn pills, so it's fine. Our burn
Yeah,
juice.
like a 0.3, you're fine. You don't even need it. Anything above like 2 or 3 G burn, you'd need it, but below that, it doesn't matter. Also, outer planets generally need it when you're getting close to a full G or above, because their physiology just isn't built for higher G than that. Cool.
How many Marines did he say there were on the thing? 31? 33.
Yeah.
The important number.
He said
Important
36.
number.
36? I think it was 6. I think it was 36.
I thought it was. Yeah, it was 36.
I thought it was 7.
Yeah.
No, it was actually -5 somehow.
Wow. Damn.
I know, right?
Suddenly it's just 5 sets of Marine armor and weapons floating where the Marines used to be.
Yeah.
Sloan's actually killed them all already.
It's all just robots.
Sloan actually just vaporized.
Yeah,
It's pretty
Sloan
weird.
infiltrated this place months ago in preparation for this.
Sloan is a level 15 psychic.
Yeah, just vaporize them. Jesus Christ. Okay, cool. Is there anything anyone is doing on this trip out to the holiday?
I'm reading Vasquez's thoughts.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
I'm actually reading Vasquez's.
Are we?
Okay.
You do that first, then I'll go.
Maybe I need to open the book real quick.
So he needs.
I'm reading
Yeah,
his
he's got it.
I can see his his surface emotions pretty much. Seeing what like he's thinking on the surface.
So he needs to commit 1 effort for the scene, I think.
I mean, you're just getting surface thoughts, so you would get the soldiery thing where it's just like do the job, and then how he feels about that.
Yeah.
Better to see them. Oh,
Yeah. So
Let's check real quick.
so they have to make a mental save to like deflect against it, I think.
no, they don't.
Do they not?
I should.
Basic forms of contact do not allow for a saving throw. Yeah, so he just has to commit the scene for the effort for the scene, which is his like psychic points, and then he just gets the surface level emotions.
Cool.
I'm a big man.
Wait, is this level 1 or level 0, Quack?
This is level 0. Level 1 is just understand the language.
Yeah. Observe emotional states in the target, intense
Surface
emotions
thoughts.
related to the It's page 42.
I'm on the page.
No, I'm telling Lee.
3, 7.
Okay.
40,
Cool.
42.
That's fine. All right, cool. So it happens, and you get the sergeant's like base level feeling. That's kind of as you'd expect.
Since I don't have my tech, would it cost 2 points?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I forgot using her tech. Thank you for reminding me. So yeah, you get through it, and like it's harder to do without the like external implants. And so you get through. You get his base level forward. It's kind of as you'd expect. It's not an exciting assignment. He's on edge for anything that's happening. He's suspicious of you guys, especially Big Dude and Sloan. So the job is going to get done. And then as you do that, one of the other like Marines in the squad you see like their head like snap towards you, and you see like her behind the faceplate, her like lips move, and the sergeant like turns to you. He says, "Can't say I was expecting another one on this voyage, but you're a surprise. We'll have to deal with you specially."
Wait, I'm fairly sure that it wasn't detectable.
By a
I guess another psychic would be able to detect it.
by a
Yeah.
metapsionic.
A metapsionic, yeah.
Yeah. I'd say, oh fuck.
Yeah. The other Marine who turned to you says, "The fuck's somebody with the implants doing on a shit heap like that?"
I designed the implants, bitch.
Then the fuck you doing on a shit heap like that?
Saturn Corp.
Shakes her head.
Like
I don't
everyone,
like my
everyone on the crew's heads just like everyone's just staring at it.
Yeah, like she shakes her head. She says,
To say Saturn Corp hates my family.
she like chuckles. "Yeah, you must have really pissed off someone, I say."
That's what the implants did.
Shit.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm like nervously just confirming that like Morgan's like his genetic profile and that like really really strict, very very illegal research
Ooh,
is secured
I'm
inside.
solving math in my head right now.
Yeah, secured inside the
That's all I'm doing.
the bioscanner because I keep that shit on me at all times. I'm just
This
confirming
is
that.
why you have. This is why you have cloud storage and you do it offsite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust the cloud. I'm just confirming that I still have that stuff. Like, I know I do, but you know when you have something, but you want to double check and then
Double check it
triple
anyway.
check and then keep checking it. I'm just making sure I still have that.
Yeah. Morgan is just solving math in his head right now. It's just like, there are 3 guards around me, there are 2 guards now.
Oh god.
It's good to know another 100 and something years in the future, the cloud is still shitty. So that's good to know.
Oh, it's still awful. It's still not great.
Like, you would think the cloud would become an actual cloud of nanobots, but no, it's just a shitty web service.
Yeah, it's like
Pretty much.
run on like one of the asteroids orbiting the moon. Like a shitty asteroid. Just the whole
asteroids
cloud.
are literally just
Ooh.
servers.
Sorry about that.
Cat.
Cool.
How's Arlene doing?
She's dead.
She fine?
She looks a bit nervous, but apart from that, she's doing all right. Everyone looks a bit nervous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in trouble, so I should be. Oh, the cat.
Is there anything anyone is specifically doing in the next like? Probably the burn back to the ship will take like 30 minutes. 20
I want to
minutes.
try to get a read on the. Is it Vasquez?
Yeah, Vasquez is the sergeant.
Yeah, I
I
want
already
to
tried that. That didn't work.
more like a psychological read. Has he said his name, or have I heard his name?
He said
Yeah.
his name when he entered the
Okay,
ship.
cool.
You said Sergeant Vasquez.
So Sergeant Vasquez, what is a nice man like you doing on the middle of fucking nowhere?
You see, like he like reaches up to his helmet, and the like mirrored faceplate on his like armored vac suit goes up, like clears to like see through. Says, looks down at you. My job.
And that
Good
would
answer.
be
Good answer.
Above your pay grade, which is
Yeah,
Nothing.
you hear
Well-
hear Morgan way back. Dr. Matua,
Yes.
Please
Morgan?
refrain from questioning the sergeant too much. I know you're a curious doctor.
Well, he's just such a handsome man, and I figured I'd like to get to know him a bit better.
You're the
No.
easiest read on the planet.
He like
No, Dr. Matura, you do not want to know that man better.
he looks back down towards you. Spoken Thor. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
I give him a wink.
He looks back up and his faceplate like mirrors again, and you see like you can see like the like his head is moving slightly, and you see a couple of the other squad members like moving slightly as if in like conversation, but you can't see their actual faces.
I turn to Morgan. Oh, that's rude, don't you think? Talking about me behind my back, or in front of me, in this case.
The one- the
Suggest,
same
Dr. Matura,
same
that you find the problem and solve it quietly.
the same like Marine who spoke up when
The psycho.
Gwen used her power. Like she doesn't unmirror her like faceplate at all. But the like external speaker like flicks on. And you hear hey Sergeant, guess has got a crush on you, eh? And then I like cuts back off.
Well, I never have been good at hiding my feelings.
You have
Oh,
feelings?
God.
Sergeant's head like shakes.
That's very surprising. I never knew that a monster like you would have them.
Ooh.
Yeah, I shut up.
Probably fair. Anything else happening on the trip back to the holiday?
I'm repeating my story to my compatriot. We're just musicians. We don't do anything else. We sing, we play, we're musicians. We sing, we play, we're musicians. We sing, we play, musicians, sing, play.
Terrorists. Suddenly pop
You
up
get
in
the
I
the-
think she
idea-
gets bored after a while.
Yeah, you get the impression that she's turned off like the external microphone. After a while.
Oh no,
Marines are-
I'm just saying that all
Yeah,
out
yeah.
loud.
Yeah, the Marines around you have like turned off their external microphones.
I probably
I don't
start
want to hear you.
slip a cunt in there a few times. We're musicians. We sleep.
You're a cunt.
We play. You're a cunt. We sleep. We play. We're musicians.
Just to see if they're listening.
Oh god.
What did you say? We're musicians. We play. That's all.
We saw.
Cool.
Uh,
All right. So eventually you guys arrive at the holiday. There's a shudder as the ship, like the two ships connect, and the like Marines kind of jump back to action. They walk over to where like the same airlock door you came through was, and they like start keying in like an override sequence. Vasquez like stands at the door and looks back towards you, turning on the external speaker on his like armor. Says, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our destination. If we calmly and nicely proceed back off this ship, single file as we did before, I'll get you situated away in your nice cozy cabins. How's that sound?"
That sounds lovely, Sergeant. I give him a winning smile.
We're musicians.
Fantastic. All right, if everyone could follow me, and he steps down a ramp that's proceeded from the side of the like shuttle, and onto the main hangar deck of the EDF Halliday.
I head over.
Yeah, I'm assuming everybody just follows one by one.
Yeah, we don't resist.
Cool. That's good
I
to know.
teleport across the ship into the control room and take control.
Well, you good luck with that.
Pretty sure they've seen. You have to have seen the place before, or have like knowledge
Have
of
the
it.
ability to travel more than 10 feet at a time.
So, cool. So, you guys are all led to a room, and an actual briefing room. If any of you have spent any time in any sort of military service, you'd recognize it as a pretty standard room for this sort of thing. In the room, there are two people already waiting for you and the Marines as you walk in. Another 5 Marines join you, and the remainder of your crew also join you. The Marines line the outside of the room, and you guys are kind of like herded into the middle. And at the front of the room stand 2 people that we'd recognize as like viewers, as the captain and XO of the holiday.
Madam Douche.
Floating there in their dress uniforms.
The holiday. Yeah.
It's hard to be intimidating when you're floating.
Right?
Holy shit, they can fly.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to be intimidated by people who are just floating now.
It's hard to strike like an intimidating pose, right? If you're just floating. Yeah.
Unless
I feel
you're
that.
there's a difference between floating and hovering. Like, if hovering, you can do it. If you're floating wildly, or not wildly, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that scene
So
from the
as
new
you-
Spider-Man movie where he spends time getting ready for his cool pose. They're all, like, before we enter,
Yep.
they're all trying to look cool.
Exactly. So they're all like around the front of the room, and they kind of address you guys as a whole. The captain speaks first. Says, "My name is Lucia Romanov, and this is Otmagasa, my XO. We are the command staff aboard the holiday, and you'll be our guests for the next, well, until we can get a shuttle to take you out of here. You'll be refined to quarters and crew decks. We'll have a galley assigned to you, and you will stay to your designated areas. Do not stray from them. We will be forced to restrict your movement further. My XO has convinced me to give you a lot of leniency on where you can go aboard my ship, a lot more than I was willing to give. Do not fuck this up. If you do, I will restrict you to quarters, and we mark a jail cell than the nice hotel we would like it to be. Does anyone have any questions on this matter?"
I raise my hand.
I
Yeah.
lower your hand.
I raise my other hand.
I
Um,
the
lower
cap-
the other hand.
The captain waits for you to
yeah, no.
say something.
When will we be getting our personal effects back?
When you leave our ship.
Yeah, I don't say anything further.
Any further questions? No? Excellent. We will be speaking to each of you personally in this time. Be prepared to accept an interview with one of our crew members at any time. I would sync you up now, and she it pulls out a compad and flicks it towards the room. You will get an incoming comm alert that basically syncs your ship time to the holidays ship time. Says this is our day and night cycle. You can choose to abide by it if you wish, or not. It is up to you. Just be aware that during our day cycle, any one of you could be called for an interview at any time. So I recommend you sleep when we will be sleeping. I'll have to speak to your captain and your XO first. If the remainder of you could file out of the room and follow Sergeant Vasquez to your new pauses accommodation, I would appreciate it. Anyone resist said action?
No.
No.
I just
I keep
I
an eye on
just-
Slane just in case.
Slane's being very still and not really reacting yet.
Right.
yet.
Yeah. So basically, I try to help Slane along the way.
Yeah,
Those-
So,
Instead of having some of the Marines escort him out, I try to be gentle and just kind of
Cool.
let's go, Slane.
How well do the Marines float?
They have mag boots on.
Ah.
They're magnetically connected to the ground.
that's useful.
It is, yeah, because
Yeah.
you don't want to be firing a gun while floating. Kind of
Unless you do want to be
exactly.
On the way out, I like sidle up next to Vasquez. Say, Mr. Sergeant. Say, Sergeant Vasquez. Can I ask you a question?
As long as you understand, I'm not entitled to. As long as you understand, I'm not obliged to answer.
No, nothing like that. Don't be so crude, Sergeant. I'm wondering what the possibility of me getting access to a medically suited amount of no sleep would be, which is the drug she takes to not sleep.
He says,
Interesting.
"You won't need it."
I beg to differ. I have been on that stuff for the past 6 months.
Small smirk.
Look,
Turns up the right corner of his mouth. Says, "Well, then you'll have a fun time over the next couple of months, won't you?
months?
If you will follow my men out of the room."
I whisper to whoever's closest to me, does the doctor seem thirsty to you?
Did he say months?
He did.
Come on, Doctor. Get moving.
So, as you're leaving, you hear the captain of the holiday kind of call out. Says, "Captain and XO of the Kendell, please stay behind. Take a seat. We have some terms to discuss." And like you're Morgan following Slane, you see him like pause, and he turns back to face the room and says, "Captain, I recommend you don't stay here with these people. Just come with us. Safer." And the captain turns to face Slane. Says, "I'm sure we'll be fine, Slane. Thank you for your concern."
I'm still
It's
waiting.
like-
for
I just whispered the words. I should have dealt with her when we had the chance.
Slane nods once and then proceeds out of the room.
I'm still waiting for his French accent, Liam.
Monsieur Captain,
Bonjour.
I would
Bonjour, monsieur.
recommend. I would recommend our hospitality is not extended to these people.
So I'm assuming you guys all follow
Yeah,
the
yeah.
EDF personnel.
Yup.
Yeah.
No, you should come along with us, huh?
Yeah. Now I regret not choking her out on the spot.
Oh, you should have killed the XO. Should have killed that
Yeah.
bitch. Yeah.
Oh well.
So so we see you guys leave, and the camera like pans back around to see the two captains and two XOs seated in the room. And Lucia steps forward, the captain of the holiday, Captain Romanov, steps forward and offers a hand to fuck, I keep forgetting his name. I keep saying captain because like I'm lazy. Looking. That's bad.
Johnson?
Carl Lowe, the ex-captain of the Kendell, and she says, "Thank you for making the transfer of your crew so easy. This could have been a lot harder." And he nods and takes her hand and shakes it. Says, "From one captain to another. Thought it would be easier this way." And she nods. She says, "I think it's time we talk conditions of surrender for your ship. We crossed the line, broke some laws. We had to nuke it. This was not our option, but I would rather not deal with the minutiae of corporation law if we can avoid it." The captain of the Kendell nods. He says, if it means fair and equal treatment for my crew and getting us out of here nice and quick, I'll agree. She nods. I will see what I can do. Get you out as fast as I can. They both agree. And then the Udmar Gasso, the XO of the holiday, steps forward and says, Sir, ma'am, I think it's time that we speak about what we some routine checks we have to do while your crew are on board. Of course, background, identity, belongings. We need to make sure we need to make sure they are who they say they are, and make sure they're not a threat to this ship as they stay aboard. And we see as the camera kind of pans, we see the XO. We see Christie's face lose a bit of color. And Captain Romanov says, "This obviously wouldn't be a problem if none of your crew have anything to hide."
Don't have anything to hide.
The captain nods and he says, "I'm sure we can be accommodating to any requests that you have." And she nods. "That would be helpful. Thank you." And then that scene ends. And then the final scene that we see is a sort of the credits roll. And then the screen fades back up. And we see Christy Coleman, the XO, being searched by a Marine. And this, you guys were searched the first time as you were stepping on board the ship, but they're doing a proper search now. So it's a female Marine in dress uniform when they're doing a full, a strip search, basically. Jesus Christ, cat. And we see her, she unbuttons whatever top she's wearing and kind of pulls it off. As she pulls up her top, we see a tattoo revealed as she pulls up the top. And it's an insignia that none of us have seen before. But if a player was to see this, they would recognize it as a symbology for a outer planet's freedom front. Very to associate it to a modern day. I guess that's something that a lot of us would know, a very similar organization in operation to the IRA.
Shit.
Not favorite group.
So yeah, that's what we can't.
Oh fuck.
Sorry, I failed all of my goals that session.
Yeah. Do we do XP? Yeah, XP.
What goals?
Everyone wants
Here
to
are
level.
my goals, Liam.
Do we get mission XP?
Yeah, so we did complete the Kendell arc.
Yeah.
See, I'll give you all. What's level 2 experience in this game?
3.
It's 3.
Cool. So I'll give you all that for completing the Kendell arc.
You'll give us 3, or you'll give us...
No, give us 1.
We have 1 XP at the moment from last session, or the first.
Oh,
session.
so if everyone's already got 1, I'll give you 2, because I'll get you to level 2. Because I think there's going to be some stuff that happens over the next couple of sessions, which level 2 is going to be helpful for.
So yeah, Liam, here are my goals, which I failed all of them. Ensure
Yep.
the ship survives. Figure out what happened to Noah. Ensure Laura survives.
Jesus.
Yep.
I
I mean, I also lost my goal, which is to say, go the remaining 3 weeks of murder investigation to solve it as suicide. Because the ship is gone now. I don't need to solve it.
I have survived the space tech close parentheses or whatever it is. That's I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, you survived.
1 for that.
Yes, survival is not really an issue.
Did I help out security beneficially?
No.
Shit.
I can ask
Sadly,
you
no.
to with the team.
Can I get 1 experience for failing all of my goals?
I don't think that's how it works. This is not Apocalypse World.
It's unfortunate. All right, cool.
Awesome.